From translation, Net New English Translation. This 86th day of the year. Today we are reading passages 1 Samuel 1 to 3. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verses 1 to 28. There was a certain man from Ramathaim Zophim, from the hill country of Ephraim. His name was Elkanah son of Jeroham, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Zuph, an Ephraimite. He had 2 wives. The name of the first was Hannah, and the name of the second Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. Now this man used to go up from his town year by year to worship, and to sacrifice to the Lord of hosts at Shiloh, where the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were priests of the Lord. When the day came that Elkanah sacrificed, he would give portions to his wife Peninnah and to all her sons and daughters. But to Hannah he would give a double portion, because he loved her, though the Lord had closed her womb. Her rival would provoke her severely to irritate her, because the Lord had closed her womb. So it would happen year after year, whenever she went up to the Lord's house, that she would provoke her. Therefore Hannah wept and would not eat. Then Elkanah her husband said to her, Hannah, why are you weeping, and why aren't you eating? Why are you so downhearted? But she replied, May my Lord be well. Don't I have more reason to be upset than you? I have given my son to the Lord for as long as he lives, but you do not have the consolation of your son. After they had eaten and drunk in Shiloh, Hannah got up. Now the priest Eli was sitting on the seat by the doorpost of the Lord's temple. She was deeply distressed and prayed to the Lord and wept bitterly. She made a solemn vow, O Lord of hosts, if you indeed look with compassion on the suffering of your female servant and remember me, and if you give your female servant a male child, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever touch his head. As she prayed before the Lord, Eli watched her mouth. Now Hannah was speaking in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice could not be heard. So Eli thought she was drunk. Eli said to her, How long will you make yourself drunk? Get rid of your wine. But Hannah replied, No, my Lord, I am a woman who is deeply troubled. I have drunk neither wine nor beer, but I have been pouring out my soul before the Lord. Do not consider your female servant a worthless woman, for I have spoken out of my great anxiety and irritation all this time. Then Eli answered, Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant the petition that you have asked of him. She said, May your female servant find favor in your eyes. Then the woman went her way and ate, and she was no longer sad. They got up early in the morning and worshipped before the Lord, and then they returned to their home in Ramah. Elkanah had sexual relations with Hannah his wife, and the Lord remembered her. So in due time Hannah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, for she said, I asked the Lord for him. Then Elkanah went up with all his household to offer to the Lord the annual sacrifice, and to fulfill his vow. But Hannah did not go up, for she said to her husband, I will not go up until the child is weaned. Then I will bring him, so that he may appear before the Lord and stay there forever. Elkanah her husband said to her, Do what you think best, stay until you have weaned him. May the Lord fulfill what you have spoken. So the woman stayed and nursed her son until she had weaned him. When she had weaned him, she took him up with her, along with a 3-year-old bull, half an ephah of flour, and a skin of wine. She brought him to the Lord's house at Shiloh, though the boy was still young. They slaughtered the bull and brought the boy to Eli. She said, Excuse me, my lord. As surely as you live, my lord, I am the woman who stood here beside you, praying to the Lord. I prayed for this child, and the Lord has given me what I asked of him. So now I am dedicating him to the Lord. For his whole life he is given to the Lord. Then they worshipped the Lord there. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verses 1 to 36. Then Hannah prayed and said, My heart exults in the Lord, my horn is exalted in the Lord. My mouth speaks boldly against my enemies, because I rejoice in your deliverance. There is no one holy like the Lord. There is no one besides you, there is no rock like our God. Do not boast so proudly, or let arrogant words come from your mouth, for the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. The bows of the warriors are broken, but those who stumbled are armed with strength. Those who were full hire themselves out for food, but those who were hungry hunger no more. The woman who was barren has borne 7 children, but the one with many sons pines away. The Lord brings death and makes alive, he brings down to the grave and raises up. The Lord sends poverty and wealth, he humbles and he exalts. He raises the poor from the dust, and lifts the needy from the garbage pile, to make them sit with nobles and inherit a place of honor. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and on them he has set the world. He will guard the feet of his faithful followers, but the wicked will remain silent in darkness. For not by strength does one prevail. The Lord shatters his adversaries, he thunders against them from heaven. The Lord will judge the ends of the earth. He will give power to his king and exalt the horn of his anointed. Then Elkanah went home to Ramah, but the boy was serving the Lord before the priest Eli. Now the sons of Eli were scoundrels. They did not recognize the Lord's authority. This is what the priests did to the people. Whenever anyone was offering a sacrifice, the priest's servant would come while the meat was boiling, with a three-pronged fork in his hand. He would stick it into the container or kettle or cauldron or pot, and whatever the fork brought up the priest would take for himself. This is how they treated all the Israelites who came to Shiloh. Even before the fat was burned, the priest's servant would come and say to the person who was sacrificing, "Give the priest some meat to roast, because he won't accept boiled meat from you, only raw." If that person said to him, "First let the fat be burned up, then take for yourself whatever you want," he would say, "No, hand it over now. If not, I'll take it by force." This is the sin these young men committed before the Lord. They treated the Lord's offering with contempt. Meanwhile, the boy Samuel was serving the Lord in Eli's presence, wearing a linen ephod. His mother used to make for him a small robe and take it to him each year when she went up with her husband to offer the annual sacrifice. Then Eli would bless Elkanah and his wife, saying, "May the Lord make you children by this woman in place of the one she dedicated to the Lord." Then they would go to their home. The Lord was gracious to Hannah, and she gave birth to 3 sons and 2 daughters. Meanwhile, the boy Samuel grew up in the presence of the Lord. Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons were doing to all Israel, and how they were having sexual relations with the women who were stationed at the entrance to the tent of meeting. He said to them, "Why do you do these things that I hear from all these people? No, my sons, the report I hear circulating among the Lord's people is not good. If a person sins against another person, God can mediate for them. But if a person sins against the Lord, who can intercede for them?" But they would not listen to their father, for the Lord had decided to kill them. Now the boy Samuel continued to grow in stature and in favor with the Lord and with people. Each year his mother used to make for him a small robe and bring it to him when she went up with her husband to offer the annual sacrifice. A man of God came to Eli and said to him, "This is what the Lord says. I revealed myself to your ancestors' family when they were slaves in Egypt to Egypt at Pharaoh's house. I chose your ancestors' family from all the tribes of Israel to be my priests, to ascend my altar, to burn incense, and to wear an ephod in my presence. I gave to your ancestors' family all the fire offerings made by the Israelites. Why do you scorn my sacrifice and my offering that I commanded for my dwelling place? You have honored your sons more than me, by making yourselves fat from the best of all the offerings of my people Israel. Therefore the Lord, the God of Israel, says, I did indeed say that your family and your ancestors' family would walk before me forever. But now the Lord says, Far be it from me, for I will honor those who honor me, but those who despise me will be treated with contempt. Look, a time is coming when I will cut off your strength and the strength of your father's family, so that there will not be an old man in your family. Then in my anger I will burn away every one of your men. I will cut off from your family every male, both servant and master. What happens to your 2 sons, Hophni and Phinehas, will be assigned to you. They will both die on the same day. I will raise up for myself a faithful priest. He will do according to what is in my heart and in my soul. I will build him a lasting dynasty, and he will walk before my chosen one forever. But now may the Lord be sure to cut off every one of your men from my altar, so that your eyes will fail and you will lose strength. Your surviving kinsmen, each of whom from time to time was allotted some duty in my sanctuary, will be reduced to beggars for a piece of bread. They will say, Please give me some priestly privileges, so I can have a piece of bread to eat. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verses 1 to 21. Now the boy Samuel was serving the Lord before Eli. And the word of the Lord was rare in those days, there was no frequent vision. At that time Eli, whose eyes had begun to grow dim so that he could not see, was lying down in his usual place. The lamp of God had not yet gone out, and Samuel was lying down in the temple of the Lord, where the ark of God was. Then the Lord called Samuel, and he said, Here I am. He ran to Eli and said, Here I am, for you called me. But Eli said, I did not call you, my son. Lie down again. So he went and lay down. The Lord called Samuel again a second time. So he got up, went to Eli, and said, Here I am, for you called me. But Eli said, I did not call, my son. Lie down again. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, and the word of the Lord had not yet been revealed to him. The Lord called Samuel a third time. So he got up, went to Eli, and said, Here I am, for you called me. Eli then realized that the Lord was calling the boy. So Eli said to Samuel, Go, lie down, and if he calls you, say, Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. Then the Lord came and stood there, calling as before, Samuel, Samuel. Samuel said, Speak, for your servant is listening. The Lord said to Samuel, I am about to do something in Israel that will make the ears of everyone who hears it ring. On that day I will carry out against Eli everything I said about his family, from beginning to end. I told him that I would judge his family forever because of the sin he knew about. His sons made themselves contemptible, and he did not restrain them. Therefore I swore to the family of Eli, the guilt of Eli's family will never be removed by sacrifice or offering. So Samuel lay down until morning. Then he opened the doors of the Lord's house, but Samuel was afraid to tell Eli the vision. Then Eli called Samuel and said, "Samuel, my son." He said, "Here I am." He said, "What was the message that he told you? Please do not hide it from me. May God do thus and more to you if you hide anything from me of all the things he told you." So Samuel told him everything, and he hid nothing from him. Then Eli said, "He is the Lord. Let him do what is good in his eyes." Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and did not let any of his words fall to the ground. All Israel from Dan to Beersheba recognized that Samuel was confirmed as a prophet of the Lord. The Lord continued to appear at Shiloh, for the Lord revealed himself to Samuel at Shiloh by the word of the Lord.